So as always, I like to share a little bit about my experience lately, as I feel like that is the most potent way to teach, is through the power of my own experience. So it's a really interesting thing when you're facing something challenging. So I recently had a cold. The cough was lingering, negative for COVID, but continued to have irritation. So I finally went to the doctor because the cough was keeping me up at night. I just was not feeling myself. So I have been low energetically, and getting medication for my cough has helped so much. It's actually the first day that I haven't taken the cough medicine, which I can feel this weight lifting off of me. But when I first went to the doctor, they actually gave me a serving of a steroid that was going to last about 72 hours to help calm my lungs down a little bit so that I could help with the inflammation and start to get on the right track. And I respond very strongly to any kind of medication. You know, if I took a melatonin, and whatever the side effects are, headache, prolonged fatigue the next day, like I'm generally in that class of responding quite strongly. So with the steroid, one of the side effects can be some anxiety, some depression. And I've actually never experienced depression before. I've had, of course, deep sadness, and I've experienced grief, but this kind of like heaviness, this like feeling of an inability to get out of my own way, to even do the things that I know are productive for me. So I'm very aware of how I feel. And so when I started to notice that heaviness, I would wake up and just have this like somber, melancholy attitude. I acknowledged it for what it was, and I understood that it was the medication causing this to happen. And my instinct was sleep it off. Right? My mind's like, yeah, you know what? You're feeling low, just sleep it off. You don't have to work. You can cancel clients. You can do videos later. You can push it all off. But what I did instead was acknowledge that I was experiencing this, and then decide to do the things that I knew felt hard, but were also really important to me, like creating content, like showing up for sessions, like having people in person. And yeah, I have to take medication, and it doesn't make me feel the best, but it's facing the resistance. It's, what could be considered not my path because it feels really hard was actually the path. Sometimes what we see as like the challenging way is really the way through. So whatever emotion you deal with a lot, maybe it's anxiety, maybe you just have fearful thoughts, whatever your like most dominant nagging emotion is, the way to remedy it is not trying to scoot around it, not ignoring it, not suppressing it, but actually diving directly into it. So for me, it brought up first how thankful I am to be healthy, and how I try to be thankful, but I want to up that even more because I realize having a healthy body is gold. That is worth more than anything. Another thing that it showed me was some perspective on people that experience depression. That shit is heavy. That is one of the most challenging sensations I've ever felt, because anger, you get shit done. I'm like a super cleaner when I'm angry or frustrated or annoyed. When I'm angry, I have this fire energy. I want to work out. I want to, make things happen. I want to move. I want to do the laundry. I want to move and groove and make content and make money. And when I'm overwhelmed, I can be really soft with myself. I have really nice relationships with all these different emotions, but depression, I have never had to acknowledge my relationship with that because it's really not something I've experienced. Maybe, like I said, maybe like a little bout of it in like a day or a moment and in a conversation, and then it shifts. So this was very irregular. And despite me knowing it was induced by a medication that's ultimately going to make me feel better, that didn't matter. My emotions felt very real to me. What my body was communicating felt very real. It was uncomfortable, to say the least, but also gave me the chance to face something as heavy as depression. That's the best way I can describe it. It's heavy. You feel sluggish, like nothing. You're like, I go to say something and there's a lag. Everything is just like a beat behind. And for me, that's just not my normal. So this little bout of depression, I mean, it probably, let's say I started taking medication on Thursday. So throughout the weekend, we had plans with friends, and then we had a course we were going to, and we had these different things, and everything felt so hard to do, but I did it anyway. I understand there is a balance of sleeping on the couch and eating some pizza and taking that time, but for me, I could feel I need to keep this energy moving. I need to show up for the workout. I need to show up for myself because I know who I am beyond this current sensation. But like I said, it wasn't about ignoring it. It wasn't about, oh, it's just medication, you're fine, move on. It was really looking right at it and having such compassion for myself for experiencing it, but also all the people that I have known and know now that experience depression. And the antidote to depression is the exact opposite of what you want to do. Isn't that wild? The antidote to anxiety is to look directly at it and play that shit out in your mind, worst case scenario, and let yourself go there, but also letting yourself go to the most positive outcome as well. Because we got to be fair here, right? We can't just play one side of the field. We have to do both. So yeah, it's quite a interesting dynamic that the thing that feels most challenging, like public speaking. Maybe you have a really hard time with that. The best thing for you is to get up there and public speak about something you care about. Facing the monster, facing the demon, facing that thing that feels so freaking hard, because that is the answer. It's not trying to find another way around it. It's not avoiding the conversation. It is looking at it directly in its eyes and saying, hi, I see you. I can tell you're pulling me this way, and I'm gonna move the needle a little this way. It's not allowing the gripping sensation of that emotion to pull you under. Or, of course, you're human. I'm human. I had those moments, like I woke up, I think it was Friday or Saturday, and I just like burst into tears. I wasn't fighting it. I wasn't like, get up, let's go, let's go. I was just like, this feels really hard. I know I want to move my body, but that is like the last thing I want to do. I want to sit on the couch and I want to eat, and I want to eat something sweet, right? And I know that sugar high will bring me up and then crash me back down even harder than I was. So I needed that time to cry it out. And also having a partner that I can communicate with, having community that you can communicate what you're facing. Because, I started to kind of be so up in my own head, and I turned to Brad, I think it was last night, and I was like, do you feel like I'm different? Because I feel like I'm so different. I feel like, and he's like, you are still my wife. He calls me his wife. You are still my wife. You are still the kind, loving, wonderful person that you are. You're just a bit low. And I'm not judging you for that. The judgment you have of yourself and it being inappropriate in some form or another, I think that's kind of causing more of this tension. And so it was like, yes, I am still myself. This is temporary. I have a solution in mind, which is getting off the medication, right? That's the ideal thing. And in the meantime, taking what this experience is giving to me, because it is. Life gives to you exactly what you need. Everything you need, it's being delivered to you. Every opportunity you are seeking to shift, it's coming to you, because, we want problems because we want solutions, because solutions feel so good. So today I woke up feeling pretty low, and I just was like, you know what? Here we go again. That's okay. We're gonna work out later tonight. We're gonna do our videos. We're gonna show up. And I give you permission to suck today. And I told Brad that. I was like, guess what my mantra is today? And I don't normally do mantras, but I was just so excited because it felt so good to say, it's okay to suck today. It's okay. If this energy forecast is the worst thing I've ever made, I don't fucking care. I showed up anyway. And that's what my work is for me. It's showing up anyway. It's showing up even when I don't feel like I am my 100%, because I'm looking for clients that keep it real. I'm looking for people that are willing to be authentic even when it's ugly, like depression for me. Right? I'm seeking like-minded people that are willing to show up even when they know they're gonna suck. So yeah, my mantra was, I give myself permission to suck today, and I'm gonna show up anyway. And the weight that got lifted when I just gave myself permission to be less than my ideal version of myself, not completely letting myself off the hook, right? There's some pressure on that I still have to show up, but it can suck, and that's okay. And so reestablishing, again, your relationship to yourself, even when the things around you are chaotic. Staying in this center. And, that Thursday, Friday especially was particularly hard. I mean, Saturday too. But, I kept reminding myself, this isn't your always. And I'm so thankful for that. This isn't your always. This is temporary. This is going to shift. When that's going to shift, I mean, I have enough pills for another week. So it could be a week, but I am 6 hours off of medication today and my lungs are feeling a little tight, but I'm okay. So I'm like, I can see the light. And I'm so glad that I figured out the antidote to my chaos is facing it, is acknowledging it, and doing the opposite thing of what I really wanted to do, or at least what that current state, that emotion was telling me to do. And instead I said, show up anyway. I told Brad, I'm not feeling it. We were doing a workout. We work out together, but separate workouts. And I was doing a workout and he was like, yo, nice job. You're looking strong. And I was like, don't talk to me. I was like, I can't, I was about to burst into tears. I'm like, please, I don't feel like crying right now. And I'm doing these burpees and I'm like, I'm fucking dying. And in my head, I'm saying that. And then I got to move on to the next exercise because I completed it. And I was like, I didn't die. I needed to be in my own discomfort. And despite him trying to make me feel better, really just encouraging me, because he's like, wow, you were crying earlier and now you're doing burpees. That's pretty badass. And I was like, no, please hold that, because I'm facing the depression. I'm facing that heaviness. I'm facing it, but it's really fucking hard and I need the blinders on. So also, I encourage you, when you feel something so strongly, yes, work it out a little bit, but also knowing your limits. Like when I have conversations with people, I am very, in session, I am very much so kind of taking the temperature of have we hit the peak for you? Are we complete here? Are you getting to that level of toast where you're not taking anything on and your head's starting to swirl and you're going from, oh, okay, I feel a little clearer to oh shit, there's so much to focus on. Am I ever going to be done when this is going to, right? So knowing the balance within yourself. And I have practiced listening to that. Sometimes the encouragement from Brad feels really good, and other times it's I can't. Please don't say anything. And, at first, sometimes he takes it personally, but I know it's not personal. I know it's a relationship between me and me that I'm really tending to, and that is key. So this week, or any week, revisit this video when you're facing something that is calling you in the direction that you really don't want to be going in. And remember to face it, to acknowledge it, to stare it in the eye is making progress, is going to be, it's going through it, not around it. And when we delay, maybe it's a hard conversation you have to have. when we delay it, we're just trying, hopefully there's another path, hopefully. It's like, you know the path. You always intuitively know. It's just sometimes hard to accept. I wanted to wallow in my self-pity all weekend. My emotions said that would be the best thing. Let's just stay really low. But I knew that wasn't the truth, right? So calling yourself out on your own bullshit and getting going, working out, I was like, oh my God, I'm 1,000 pounds. I can't even move my arms. And again, permission to suck, Laura. Just go through the motion. Just get some endorphins going, get a little sweat on. You could literally jump in place for 3 minutes and I'd start sweating. And that would be enough. Permission to suck. Permission to not be at your peak all the time, because that's unreasonable. I hope this message finds you well. Thank you for tuning in, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.